providing people with the content that they want is the real key to success online. Today, I'm going to take you behind the scenes and show you how I generate unlimited content ideas using free tools. And because I've been making my living from the internet since 2004, I've seen what works and, more importantly, I've seen what doesn't. So take it from me, generic content doesn't work anymore. I call it zombie content. It's lifeless, it gets lost amongst all the noise, it doesn't connect, it doesn't engage, and it just doesn't inspire. So if you've been blogging for a while, but you still don't have much traffic, or you don't have an audience, or you're not making much money yet, then right now, here today, you're in the best possible place you can be, because I remember how awful it feels when you're not getting the results you deserve. It's frustrating, right? You pour your heart and your soul into creating something that you love, you feel passionate about, but nobody else knows it exists. And as harsh as it might sound, maybe nobody even cares that it exists. And that alone can make you feel like giving up, like throwing in the towel and moving on to something else. And, I have been there too. And in the 20-something years, I've been involved with a lot of websites. And even with Profit Copilot at the beginning, it would take something like an entire week for one of my videos to get just 100 views. And of course, now that probably happens in a couple of hours. But the funny thing is, the amount of work that goes into getting those 100 views across a week is exactly the same as what it takes to get in an hour. And that's because when it's done right, content compounds over time. So if you're struggling right now, it might be the best time to rethink your content creation strategy, because when you do get it right, everything changes. You get all the traffic you want without even trying. It just comes to you on autopilot. You don't have to put in any extra work for it. I mean, the content does all the work. And the great thing is, the more content you make, the more traffic you get. So the more money you make, and ultimately, the better lifestyle you have. So it all comes back to having the right type of content. So let's get unlimited content ideas using free tools. So we're going to use Google, we're going to use dig.com, we're also going to use spreadsheet software. So I'm going to use Google Sheets, but you can use Excel or anything else you like. So let's go to Google, let's type in a couple of seed keywords. So let's say I'm in the piano niche, so I teach people how to play piano. Type that into Google. And then if we go right down to the bottom of the page, we have this section down here, searches related to. Because these keywords, these key phrases are on Google, we know that people are searching for these. So we take these as a starting point, copy them, go to your spreadsheet, just paste them in like that. You're going to get a nice list here. And now we work our way through some of these key phrases. We don't have to do this with all of them, but because we know that this is what people are searching for, it makes sense to use this as our starting point. So let's grab all these. So we do this a couple of times. And it doesn't matter if we get a few duplicates along the way, that's perfectly fine. Because all we're doing is just getting a lot of data to work with. So we're going to create content based around these key phrases. Paste into this list, and you can see in the space of, a couple of minutes, less even, what we're talking, a few seconds, there we've got, a couple of dozen content ideas already. So what we need to do is work those keywords into a headline. So to do that, we go to a website like dig.com. Really, you can go to any other website that publishes content on a frequent basis. So think about news websites that cover a range of topics. I'm going with dig.com because it's probably the easiest way to get started with this idea. So all we do is we search dig.com for a niche that is similar to yours, but not exactly the same. So what we're going to do is find headlines that we know work, and then we're going to modify them, we're going to tweak them. Basically, we're going to build a swipe file, which is a copywriter's trick to make life a little bit easier and only use copy that we know actually works. So if we search in dig.com for a similar niche, so we could go guitar. So it's not exactly the same. Here we're going to get headlines that we know are proven to work. So if we go down and take a look through a few of these, we might see something that inspires us. And if you're not sure about which ones to choose, just have a look at the number of digs. That's going to tell you the popularity. I think that can be an interesting way to look for headlines, but it's not the only way. I think if one grabs your attention, then you should go with that. For example, this one. So, man condenses 10 years of guitar playing into an impressive 3-minute video. If we have a look at that, so what is it? It's just a video, but we're interested in the headline. So if we copy this headline, we go back to the spreadsheet, paste it in there, and then if we continue searching through Dig for ones that grab our attention, so that one could be a good one to work with. We go back. That's a good headline. Finally learn how to play guitar with these expert-led classes. So really, what we're really looking for here is educational headlines. So let's start with this one. We're not going to go through all of these because I only need to show you the process on one headline, and then you're free to use that exact same process on as many as you like. So what we do is, instead of just taking this headline and using it in exactly the same way that it's written, that's just plagiarism, and it's not a good idea. So what we need to do is look at the structure of the headline, because the headline is what's going to get people to click. That's what's really going to drive the traffic. So the more clicks, the more traffic. So we need to make people click on the headline. So we know that this works. Man condenses 10 years of guitar playing into an impressive 3-minute video. So how can we change this? So first of all, let's change guitar to piano. Let's change condenses into maybe compresses, or, well, because it's a demo, we don't need to get it perfect, do we? So man compresses 10 years of, let's change that to 3 years of piano playing into an impressive, let's call that remarkable 3-minute video. Let's change that to a 5-minute video. In fact, let's change it to a tutorial because it's educational. So man compresses 3 years of piano playing into a remarkable 5-minute tutorial. We can work it even further. So piano playing, we can change that to education. So you can see that if we continue to work on this, it is a completely different headline, but it uses the same structure, a proven structure that we know works. And I'm not really happy with that word, compresses. Let's call it crams 3 years of piano education into a remarkable 5-minute tutorial. So that's a good basis to go with. If I was doing this for real, I would spend quite a long time working on the headline. It is one of the most important things that you need to do. Okay, so now you know what people want. How do you structure the content? Well, if I boil it down to the most basic structure that I can, it looks like this. So step 1 is to grab attention. Step 2, acknowledge their problem. Step 3 is to provide a solution. And then step 4 is to ask them to take action. So let's break it down and we'll go through each step. So the first one, grabbing attention. How do you grab attention? Well, in copywriting, we have something called a hook. So that immediately hooks them on, it grabs their attention. And to do that, you can make a promise. So tell them about a desirable outcome, or do you know what? You can even go in the opposite direction. You can start with drama. So you create high tension, and tension grabs attention. You can use jeopardy, so something's at risk. There's a struggle, so you can put that in right at the very start. That can grab attention immediately. Okay, so you can use a promise or you can use tension, drama. The next step is to acknowledge the problem. So more specifically, focus on the feelings that the problem creates. Now, we focus on the feelings because that creates a connection. It kind of establishes a bond, and bonds create trust. And if you really think about it, when's the last time you bought something from anybody you didn't trust? You just don't do it. You need that trust to inspire people and motivate people to take action. So after you've acknowledged the problem and how that feels, then you must provide a solution. So this gives your readers or your viewers a sense of relief. They have to know that there's light at the end of the tunnel, and that it's not all hopeless, that they can achieve results. And then when they know that they can do it, then you ask them to take the next step, which is to take action. And this is the call to action. And if you want to make money from your website, this is probably the most important part of your page. Now, you can ask them to do lots of different things. So you can ask them to opt into your email list, which is the smartest thing to do. Or you can ask them to click on an affiliate link. Wouldn't really recommend that straight away. I mean, you can ask people to buy stuff when you already have an audience, but if you're just trying to build an audience, ask them to opt into an email list. That's the smartest thing that you can do. If you want to grow a popular and profitable website, you're going to need more traffic. So I'm going to give you the traffic methods that I never share on YouTube or anywhere else. I'm going to give them to you completely for free when you go to profitcopilot.com/traffic. And if you found this useful, give it a thumbs up below. Subscribe to the channel too. Hit that little notification bell so you never miss an update from me. And I will hopefully see you again in a couple of days' time. Take care.